Twilight is the last in a series of 3 new heroic-only dungeons coming out in patch 4.3. After successfully stealing the Dragon Soul from the past, you team up with Thrall in the present and escort the Dragon Soul through the Dragon Blight into Wyrmrest Temple. Along the way, you'll encounter Arurion, Asira Dawnslayer, and Archbishop Benedictus. When you zone in, Thrall will be waiting for you to initiate the battle. On your way to Arurion, frozen servitors will attack, but they are fairly easy to defeat. They will drop icy boulders on you that are avoidable. A pack of crystalline elementals will also come your way, but they provide little trouble. Once you clear through the icy ravine, Thrall will stop and you'll need to talk to him again to keep moving along. After a short walk, you'll find yourself at Arurion. Arurion will begin the fight by dropping more avoidable icy boulders and by casting Hand of Frost, which does about 50k frost damage on the tank. He'll keep switching between these 2 spells for a bit, and then he'll cast Chains of Frost, which does about 10k frost damage and traps everyone in place. This can be dispelled. Shortly after that, he'll encase Thrall in an icy tomb that he must be broken free from. At 30% health, Arurion will cast Torrent of Frost, which does about 14k frost damage to everyone each second and will slow them by 50%. It can be dispelled, however he recasts it so frequently that it's easier to just heal through it. After defeating Arurion, you once again need to speak to Thrall to continue. He'll turn into a ghost wolf and your party can mount up and travel towards the next boss. Once you reach Galakrond's Rest, Thrall will shift back into orc form and will lead you down this snowy path, but beware the stealth Twilight assassins that can gank an unsuspecting DPS. More Twilight minions will appear and attempt an ambush, occasionally casting a shadow AoE and using a stun called Hungering Shadows. They also encase players in an ice tomb as well, which can be dispelled. As you continue, you'll notice Thrall's totem and a friendly-looking AoE. Standing in this will give you a buff called Rising Fire that increases damage done by 5% and your health by 5% per stack with a maximum of 10 stacks. There will still be stealth assassins lurking about, so try to stick close together with Thrall leading the way. Once you clear through the trash, you'll be greeted by Asira Dawnslayer. This fight is more annoying than difficult due to her constant silencing and smoke bombs which block line of sight. You'll see my silence power aura for the duration of the fight even though I'm not silenced all the time, so ignore that for now. At the beginning of the fight, she will cast Mark of Silence on all enemy spellcasters, including the healer, and if they cast a spell while marked, she'll throw a knife in their direction that will do about 15k damage and silence them for 2 seconds. Ranged spellcasters can try standing behind melee or even the tank, so that they would get hit by the knife instead, avoiding the interrupt. She will also cast smoke bombs centered on herself, which block line of sight and do 5k nature damage per second. Thrall will often place his totem down to help, so the smoke bomb and the totem buff will often overlap. The tank will lead the group by moving them into the totem area and then navigating them out as the smoke bomb appears. At low health, she'll put up a blade barrier, which reduces incoming damage below 40k to 1. This barrier is broken when she is hit by attack that is above 40k. Once that is removed, she'll put up a lesser blade barrier that has a 30k threshold. Once Asira is defeated, you'll be provided a ride courtesy of the Red Dragonflight. Unfortunately, you'll fall under attack by Twilight dragons and must parachute down to travel the rest of the way by foot. Talk to Thrall again to continue down the Wyrmrest Temple. As you travel down, you'll be attacked by spawn of the Old Gods. This trash will do shadow damage, and most of the spells can be interrupted or dispelled. Once inside the temple, you'll fight Archbishop Benedictus. This fight has two phases. The first will be under assault by various holy spells, while the second phase will attack you with shadow spells. Thrall will help you out during the first phase, cleansing magic debuffs, using Chain Lightning on the Purifying Light, and putting up a water shell, which will protect you from the Wave of Virtue and give you a 100% increased damage buff. Waves will come from the south, or where you see the blue raid marker. Throughout the fight, it's best to stay spread out by at least 10 yards. Make sure to stand in the center before the fight begins. If you stand in the perimeter when you enter combat, a fog will appear that does damage for as long as you stand in it. Stand in it long enough and you'll die. Benedictus will start out the fight with some smites, and will also pick a target for Righteous Shear. Righteous Shear inflicts holy damage to everyone within 10 yards of the target and lasts 30 seconds. However, it can and must be dispelled. If you're afflicted by it, try to avoid standing near other party members until it's removed. Shortly after, he will cast Purifying Light, which has an 8-second cast time and summons 3 orbs of light that will afflict the target area with Purifying Blast, doing 50k holy damage to enemies within 6 yards, and will continue to damage you as long as you stand in it. Thrall helpfully destroys 2 of the 3 orbs in the first phase. Benedictus will also cast Wave of Virtue that will sweep across the center of the room, and that must be avoided. This is when you'll want to find the water shell that Thrall has placed for you. If you don't avoid the Wave of Virtue, you'll be knocked back and will receive about 100k in holy damage. Phase 2 begins when Benedictus reaches 60% health. He will cast Twilight Epiphany and will transform into a shadowy version of himself. He'll also trap Thrall in a Twilight prison, which means that Thrall won't be able to help you for the rest of the fight. He will cast Twilight Shear, which is the same as Righteous Shear, only instead of holy damage, it's shadow damage. And remember, it must be dispelled. Additionally, he will cast Corrupting Twilight, which summons 3 shadow orbs that fly at players, doing about 50k shadow damage to anyone within 6 yards on impact, and will continue to damage them if they stand in it. Finally, Benedictus will cast Wave of Twilight, which will travel across the room similarly to Wave of Virtue. This should be avoided as well. Since Thrall will be trapped in a shadow prison, there will not be a water shell to find refuge in. If you happen to lose some DPS along the way, don't worry, as you can see the fight can still be completed. Just be aware that the longer that the fight takes, the more Corrupting Twilight there will be on the ground. Once the Archbishop is defeated, Thrall is freed and you've completed the instance. I hope you've enjoyed this guide to Hour of Twilight. If you'd like to discuss this encounter, please head over to the Learn-to-Raid forums via the link below. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, watch us on Twitch TV, and follow us on Twitter. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
I wasn't feeling so good. I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So I went home, and I got all comfy and cozy and all scrunched up in front of my phonograph. And I sat there